Welcome back to another episode on the Autocraft server. If you haven't figured it out already, we're in the past. It was about time that we got a build in here, because before this, it was just a hole here, and we use this farm a lot, so I thought it would be nice if we finally got something here. We just went with something really simple for this build, a giant skeleton head for a skeleton farm. It just makes sense. And if you walk inside, you could see it's like a little cave, and we just have two pillars down and up. We come down here, we still gotta work on this, This is definitely just from the beginning still. We need to clear this out. It's a simple enchanting setup and some chests to store the items. And let's get this all cleared out. Just like that. So now we have an empty space to work with, a blank canvas. I'm going to do this a little old school. I'm just going to see what happens. I'm just going to mess around with some stuff. We started digging out a little more and found diamonds, which is great. I need some amethyst crystals and I don't have any in my boat. So we're going to go back to where it all began. Can this cow get out of the way? Thank you. We haven't been back here for a while, but we should have some amethyst down here. Where is it? Oh, right there. Perfect. Now we could get some of this tinted glass right in the back. Now hopefully we could kind of see the skeletons when they're shooting up the water stream, but it's a little bit dark so you could barely see it. I'm going to do a little demonstration for you guys. Just like that. We worked on this a little bit more. We used the same platform design as our sea shantytown platform because everyone needs to know that this is a sea shantytown farm. But overall, I'm really excited with the progress we've made so far. So we were working on the skeleton grinder when we got an invitation. How could you say no to a trial chamber? Especially when it's ominous. I don't really have diamond gear yet, so we're just going to try to go with it with this iron. We'll make a new helmet, but besides that, risk it for the biscuit. That's right, we got the mace. Well, now we have the mace. This thing is looking awesome. But with the mace, I think we should do a couple other upgrades real quick. I really want to get another pickaxe because we've been mining all of this with silk touch and I wanted to get some cobbled deep slate. So I put a little request into Lazy to see if we could get a diamond pick and he has us covered. And before we re-enchant this pick, we gotta get some feather falling on. A nice pair of diamond boots. We've been saving feather falling in the enchantment table for probably a week and a half now, so let's hope this gives us something good. Just feather falling, which is not really what I need. But let's grab this chestplate that we got from the trial chambers and this enchanted and the pick, and that will be some good gear. Well, we got a perfect pickaxe from the enchantment table. The chestplate's pretty much perfect, but you can't complain. Well, I complained, and it worked out great for the chestplate. We have protection 4 and I'm breaking 3 now, but I burned through so many levels for the boots. These boots aren't horrible. We'll have to go to Lazy's to buy a book and get it fully enchanted. Feather falling 4 is definitely important with this trident, but really not too bad. Also, I think it's time I tell you guys what my plan is for this area. We're going to get started on the redstone soon. Under this slab, we'll put a hopper and get all the items going down to this water stream. And then when things go in this water stream, they'll go through there, up there, and into a little storage room over here. And then we're going to start playing with the crafters and see if we could start crafting bone blocks and such, just to make things a little easier for us. I'm really excited to do that because I haven't played with the crafters at all since they've been added to the game. So that should be a really fun project. I'm glad to see what we have right now is working, but these are just spitting to nowhere. So after lots of testing, we actually have this working. If we put the bones in here, they'll go in here as bone meal, and then they'll come out as bone blocks. So it's definitely a start. This is how it's looking right now. We're really just missing a bunch of chests and some hoppers, so I think it's time we make our first visit to the shopping district. So this is how the shopping district's looking right now. It's just a bunch of pop-up shops for now. I think it's time we spend some of these diamonds. This is a little awkward. Rusty's all out of stock of iron. Well, that trip to the shopping district really went bad. There was no iron. Then we went to Lazy's Mount Torture to get some books. We ended up only getting a couple books to upgrade our boots further, but there was no mending, so we struck out there too. I came in with a bunch of diamonds and was ready to spend, but sadly, did not get to spend. And then for the iron, we actually had enough for the hoppers, so it all worked out great. I think we're pretty much done with the skeleton farm. Check it all out. We have the enchantment table better now over here. Full setup. Skeletons, we come in, we swipe them. They go through here. And then the items go down there. We could also flip this to get all the levels. So they go through there, then they'll go up this. I blocked it off. I tried to make it shown, but it wasn't really working out. You know, they'll go through this system. We got arrows, more arrows, bones in here, bone blocks in here, and then all the other stuff comes into here. And there's no hopper here because we have a lot of redstone just tucked in here. So how this is going to work, once the bones fill up completely, it won't be able to go into here anymore. So then they'll go into this one. What happens if we take bones and put them in here? They'll start coming out of the crafter. Oh, we have some loss there. We got to fix some of this up. We're losing a bunch, but it will come down here, re-enter the water stream, and get sorted into here. But yeah, I'm really happy with this setup. It's not perfect, but I think it works great. Okay, now that we got that farm built, I think it's time we build a proper shop for our skeleton stuff. We also got this dude. We haven't been using horses much because of the trident, but this will work out great. We have all the stuff we need in this boat, and in 121, I could go like this and bring the boat with me because I don't have shulker boxes yet. This is actually working pretty well. Who needs shulker boxes? Will they go up the block? They go up the block too. That's perfect. I know I did just say who needs shulker boxes, but we're going to go buy one right now. Not really buy. I gave Dune some string when he was building his shulker box farm. He said we could get a free one. So now we have a shulker box. Should have done that before I moved this stuff, but it was fun playing with the boats. I also need some sand, so let's grab regular sand and some sandstone. So now we're back here with all our stuff, and this is going to be the spot we're going for. I really hope this all works out how I'm planning. Let's start the build. So this is what we have for the shop right now. As you can see, very obviously floating in the middle of the air. And that's because this season, our shopping district is going to be a boardwalk on the beach. And the boardwalk would go right in front of this. So that's why we have this floating, so it could be even with the boardwalk. We're just going for a simple shop on the boardwalk. And that's where I got this design from. I'll talk about it more afterwards. But I think it's time we get some of the boardwalk in. We got the boardwalk in, we got the shop in, we got a little garden in too. I think it's looking pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. So we're going to treat this build showcase like the real experience. We're going to be walking on the boardwalk and we'll talk about the boardwalk. This may not be what we end up going with in the long run, but I wanted to put something in at least so you guys could see how it's looking. But worst case scenario, we could always change it up a little bit, but it's a really cool design. Lazy's been working on it a bunch. And then if you come over here, you could see a little garden with some trees and some flowers. I was having a hard time figuring out what would go in the corner of the boardwalk. So that's why there's a little garden here. It wouldn't really make sense for the shop to go pressed right up against it. Then it would be a hard corner. And I think this really looks good and adds a touch to the shop too. These trees are probably just temporary. I'm not nearly as good as Calvin when it comes to making trees. So these are just the vanilla trees, but a little taller. And then we come into the shop itself. It's just meant to look like a simple boardwalk shop. We have some withering over there, there. It's made out of bone blocks because, of course, it's a bone block shop. You could do some window shopping over here. Oh, we got to fill in some of those blocks over there. But if you're walking over here, you could do some window shopping. And then you go on in, and we also did the interior, more skeleton paintings. This is where you would check out. Pretty cool. But you come in, you could buy the stuff in here. We're going to be selling bone blocks and bones. They're pretty much the same price, math. And I figured we would put arrows in here too, just for fun. And then this is the employees only section, where it's really just building materials, a bed, all that kind of fun stuff. If you come up here, this is just to get up front out here. This is really looking great. I think it's time we move some of the stock over from our pop-up shop into here. I'm not even sure if you guys know that we have a pop-up shop. I'm not a big pop-up shop guy, so that's why I haven't told you guys about it, but we do have diamonds. I think there was one there too, but we did split this shop with Geo, so he probably took that one. And let's just move this stock, finally get rid of this bad little shop. I think this is the first diamond we ever made on the server, so let's keep that for safekeeping. We should probably split up the stock into these 3 barrels, so I'll do that quick and we'll be right back. We got a little in all 3. We also already stocked some of the bone blocks, but I'll get a bunch over here from the farm that we worked on earlier. Before we finish up today's episode, I think we got to do a little bit of texturing to this boardwalk. We have some oak logs and jungle logs, and we're just gonna break away this and put them in. We'll do some jungle logs there and oak logs, but we got to strip everything. Forgot, I think we have to turn these. Okay, now the grain's going the right way. I think that looks really nice. It just adds a little bit more something to the boardwalk, and it's pretty easy and simple to replicate. But I think that brings us to the end of today's episode. I actually forgot to do this, so we're just gonna cut this in before I do the outro. It might be obvious what the shop is, but we gotta make sure that everyone knows. B-O-N-E-S. Bones. We could put an exclamation mark there. I think we should. There we go. I think it's perfect. I hope we make at least a couple diamonds off this shop. Bones haven't really been selling, but maybe Bones will get some love now that we got this shop in. Again, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.